All right. Hey guys, how's it going? It's Joy. I'm back again with another video. I hope that you guys are doing well and I hope that you guys are staying safe. Today you guys, I actually wanted to touch on an interesting topic here. I went live and I did kind of have a topic that I did want to share with you, and we actually might save this for next week as well. Um, but if this is you guys' first time watching me, my name is Joy, and I am a narcissist abuse coach. I've been dealing with narcissists since 2006, and since 2017, I have been helping former victims, now survivors, heal, move on, and recover after dealing with narcissistic abuse. So, and again, I had an aunt that I lived with for 5 years that was a narcissist. I also was seeing a male narc, in which, he was a narc. And then there was a borderline many, many years back, in which I did work with him for about 4 months. And he ended up being a borderline, a person that had BPD, a personality disorder. So, so yeah, maybe we can touch on all three topics and then kind of do like a part two on the next video. But you guys, so I was thinking about something about how, sometimes, there's different types of narcissists, right? So there's the covert narcissist, there's the overt narc, there's a malignant narc, there's the somatic narc. And then there's the spiritual narcissist, right? So we kind of touched on in a previous video. If you have not watched, maybe I'll link it below the video where I was talking about the spiritual narcissist. Is basically a spiritual narcissist is someone who uses their spirituality to gain power, control, and admiration for others. And so they'll believe that they are superior. They'll manipulate others. So they'll try to like use, forgiveness as a way of which manipulating people, whether they apologize to someone or if it's vice versa. They lack empathy. They exploit spiritual settings, and things like that, spiritual communities. They'll start cults, family cults, or covens and things like that, where there's like dark entities, demonic um, things that are involved and things like that. It says in extreme cases, it says spiritual narcissists may start cults or become cult leaders. So they'll have a pack of people, thinking a certain way and behaving a certain way and believe in a certain type of mentality, right? So now it says spiritual narcissism can be destructive and hinder the healing process in spiritual community. So also, again, just kind of like a review of a spiritual narcissism is what happens when a person mistakenly lets their spiritual or religious practice go to their head and think it makes them superior to others. A spiritual narcissist may seek validation and praise for their actions, might lack empathy, and isn't likely to take responsibility for their mistakes. So that's how you know if a person is a spiritual narcissist. Now it says dealing with a spiritual narcissist can be challenging, but it's important to stay true to your own values and beliefs. Stay focused on your own growth and development, and don't allow their behavior to derail you or your spiritual path, because that's what they'll try to do. But again, just make sure that you stay focused on your own values and beliefs, right? Yeah. Okay. Let me see. Yeah, so it says the New Age narcissists believe that they are participating in the New Age movement by identifying toxic people and relationships and purging themselves of trauma and fear. At the same time, it says they're never rolling up their sleeves to truly heal and find spiritual growth or better themselves in any way. So they'll like talk about like other people, or let's say they're having a smear campaign, or they're trying to defame somebody or frame somebody and stuff like that. They'll talk about stuff about other people, but then when it comes to themselves, they're very like, you can't say anything about them because they're so sensitive, or their ego is so fragile that any little thing that you say, it would offend them, or any little thing, and they'll get defensive. But behind the scenes, they're doing all this nasty stuff to somebody else, or they're doing spell work and black magic, and maybe a lot of times, if they don't hire someone to do it, maybe they learn it from their parents or somebody in their family, and stuff like that. So, it's very interesting here. Um, yeah, it says, what does the Bible say about a narcissist spirit? It says in 2 Timothy 3, Paul describes many of the traits of a narcissist, describing people who are greedy, high-minded, and says self-love. And there's nothing wrong with loving yourself, but I think that they over exaggerated. I think that's what that meant. But it says these people have a form of godliness, outward religion, but deny its power. Paul advises Timothy to have nothing to do with such people. Yeah, it's good to have nothing to do with these people because they'll lead you to a path of destruction and danger, and they'll lead you to a life of just misery. Because that's how their life is. So whoever is around these people, that's all that they're gonna get. It's sad, but it's true. You know what I mean? Um, Let me see here. Let's see. Yeah, it says spiritual narcissists tend to live. You guys can find this on Choosing Therapy. It says they tend to live at one of two extremes. I meant to do a part two on this, but I guess this is kind of like leading to that. It says they will either brag on their greatness or pontificate on their great humility. And then it says they may try to proselytize their friends and encourage them to join their practices, or they may castigate others for their lack of self-awareness and enlightenment. So yeah. Yeah, and this is interesting. It says what daily life looks like with a narcissist. It says recognizing the behavior for those of you that are still learning about the behavior. It says they demand loyalty from others, but don't give it in return. The narcissist version of loyalty means you give in to their demands, focus all your attention on them, and don't set boundaries with them. That's really true, though. Yeah, boundaries don't apply to them, rules don't apply to them, and they demand your full attention like 24/7. They need your constant attention because a lot of them, they have such low self-esteem that if you have become their host, like if you become like their particular target, or the person that like their victim, they need your constant attention, they need your constant um like assurance, your reassurance. They need to feel admired, and they need that validation from you. If they don't get that, then they get upset, and then they may throw a temper tantrum, or they may try to antagonize you, or they may try to stalk you, or and stuff like that, or whatever the case may be. Or they may try to smear you and make up lies, and try to slander your name and try to get people to turn against you in hopes that you'll kind of go back, like you'll go backwards. But that's not something that you want to do in that regards. You know what I mean? Let's see here. Yeah, this is interesting. So to kind of get to the point that I wanted to talk about, though, so someone was mentioning to me about, because you guys know how like narcissists do like rituals, they do spell work, and mainly the spiritual ones, right? So however they do it, right? But there is one particular sacrifice and ritual that I was like finding out about, and I thought this was interesting. I know it's very common. It looks like it's common in a particular area in the world. So it's called Santeria. I think that's how you say it. You guys can let me know. But I searched it. It says in January 2018, Santeria, IFA priests predicted the narcissistic behaviors would affect the United States and Cuba. It says Ernesto Parchero, the president of Leukemia something something, provided the summaries of the forecast. So, a lot of times this could be practiced maybe in the southern part of the United States, mainly in the states, like in the South, right? The southern states. So you could have ran into a person that could have been a narcissist, and maybe they were like in the South or something like that, or maybe they had like they were in Cuba, or maybe they had like a Latin background or something like that. This is common. So it says narcissism can have many causes, including genetics, inherited traits such as personality traits, environment, so parent child relationships that are too critical or too adoring and don't match the child's actual experiences and achievements, and childhood trauma, learned behaviors from parents or caregivers. And then it says spiritual narcissism is a type of narcissism that is based on ego driving the practice as a false means of achieving spiritual superiority. Okay. And spiritual narcissists believe in their own level of spiritual development, makes them holy and special. So, yeah, very, very interesting, you guys. So, there's some more that I did want to share with you here. Let me see. So, let's talk more about Santeria, though. Because this kind of comes into play because let's say you've been dealing with a narcissist. A lot of times if they're doing santeria on you or something like that, a lot of times, like I said, they could have maybe hired a practitioner, or they could be doing like spell work, or they could be chanting stuff, or they could be lighting candles, you know what I'm saying? And or they could be like astral traveling. So let's say if you have dreams about the narcissist, so they may be showing up in your dreams, and they could also be thinking. A lot of times when people think, they project. So if they're thinking about you, then like I said, you may have dreams about them, or let's say they're talking about you, or they're smearing you, or they're projecting onto you. That could also be a way of them, doing like different rituals and spell works and curses and stuff like that. It's a very like dark entity, and stuff like that. And a lot of people, I guess, may not be aware of it, but I guess it's good to just note this. And maybe this could be a sign for those of you that feel like you could have somebody around you that is a narcissist, or you notice the weird behavior, or maybe you have dreams about this person, and some of the dreams you're like, wow, this kind of weird, like it's kind of outlandish. You're not thinking about that person, but you keep having reoccurring dreams about someone. It's because they're either doing spell work on you, or they're doing black magic, and they'll do it every day. You get me? Like they're not just going to do it once or twice, because whatever their beliefs are, whatever the santeria is, they have to, keep doing it. You get me? Until they think that they're going to get a certain result. In the end, obviously it's not going to work, but it's just that's what they're attempting to do, and stuff like that. But yeah, let's get into it. So santeria, it says also known as and I don't speak Spanish, y'all, so you have to forgive me for those of you that do. It says regla de ocha. Hold on one second, y'all. And the crazy part, me living in California, like you would think I would like, I mean, I know some words in Spanish, but that was because I had to learn it in high school because, living in California is very diverse and stuff like that. So, you know, and okay. So, as an Afro Caribbean religion that combines elements of Yoruba religion, Roman Catholicism, Catholic, you guys get what I'm saying, and spiritualism is originated in Cuba in the late 19th century as a result of the slave trade. So it says these are the facts of the Santeria. So Santeria developed in secret in Cuba during the Spanish colonial period when Catholicism was the only permitted religion. So beliefs, Santeria is centered in the term of Eki, a sacred magical power that can be transmitted from a supernatural being onto a person. Practices. So Santeria practitioners or Santerios may follow restrictions such as not smoking based on what their Santo tells them. It says there are large groups of Santeria practitioners in New York City, New Jersey, Connecticut, and South Florida. So if you are in any of those areas and maybe you have a narcissist around you or something like that, just know that they could be practicing this on you, because maybe if they are somehow connected to, maybe whether it's New York or New Jersey, Connecticut, South Florida, or maybe even Cuba, or maybe, places like in Africa or in the Caribbean, that could be a common thing. You know what I mean? So just be careful of that. Let me see here. Yeah, it says Santeria followers believe that one God created the universe and that the world is cared for by lesser divine beings such as Orishkas. Similar to ancient Greek gods, the Orishkas represent various forces of nature along with certain human characteristics. For example, Yimaya is the Orishka of the sea and motherhood. So this is interesting here. Yeah, it says, who is Santeria God? It says, practitioners of Santeria believe in the deity above Orishkas. This divinity is known as Odumar, Olifa, Orun. Y'all gotta forgive me. I have never said these words before. But Olorun is the creator god and is seen as a symbol of goodness, justice, and a ruler of heavens, represented by the sun and the stars, and the ultimate source of knowledge and power. So let's see here and how this relates to the narcissist, because again, we know that the narcissist likes to manipulate everything. So, let me see here. They like to control everything and, do stuff like that. Okay, so yeah. So again, the spiritual narcissist's need for validation, they avoid responsibility, so they won't take accountability. Even if they're wrong, they will not take responsibility. They rather sacrifice somebody, or they, stuff like that. Let me see here. Let me pull it up, because this is something that I'm learning too, you guys. What do I always say? I'm a student. I'm always learning. So, yeah, and you guys know what's crazy though? I'm looking at this article, and it's in Miami Herald. So for those of you folks that live in Florida, you really have to be careful, because there's a lot of people that could have narcissistic behavior. Because I thought California had the most people that had narcissism, but I guess maybe it's kind of like the one and the same, because me living in California was where I met my first narcissist. But if you're in the Florida area, just be mindful, especially if you're in Southern Florida. You definitely might run into people that could be a spiritual narcissist, and that could be doing Santeria on you. That might be their particular, like their deity, or who they pray to, or who they chant to, and who they may try to pay somebody to do, or maybe they might even go to travel like other places and do it. Maybe they might choose places in the Caribbean, or they may choose places like somewhere like in Nigeria or somewhere in Africa. I've actually, and I gotta be honest with you guys, and you guys know I'm always honest, I did have someone reach out to me. I want to say this was back in 2019, 2020, because you guys know I do the readings, but what do I always tell you guys? I don't use it for any negative, like how a spiritual narcissist would, right? I don't do any spells. I don't do any rituals. I don't do any magic to harm or hurt anybody or try to taunt and stalk somebody. I don't do stuff like that, right? I don't antagonize a person and keep doing the same thing over and over every day, expecting a different result, right? But this person, this individual got readings from me. Actually, it was multiple readings, and I was very transparent with her. I let her know, like, hey, This is all positivity. We're not doing anything to harm anybody here. I always have to make that clear, because again, I know that due to the fact that you do have these spiritual narcissists out there that kind of give it the bad rep. You know what I mean? So they kind of ruin it for the people that are actually out there that are doing good with it, because they kind of poison it. They taint the whole industry or the practice, because of their toxic behavior, their demonic devilish behavior, right? But anyway, the person was like, they did actually ask someone else for a spell, right? They did. They mentioned that to me, and they said that they actually had to go and get someone else to do it that was outside of the US. So sometimes, and I'm not saying that that person was a narc or anything like that, but I'm just saying, like, some people will go to that desperate measure to do certain stuff to people, or to get certain people back, whether it's to get a relationship back, or to get money, or to get fame or fortune, or whatever it is. Or they may try to sacrifice somebody. They may try to like harm somebody. You know what I'm saying? And they may have to go to somebody else to do it. Or like I said, somebody in their family may do it, and maybe they told them something to do it, and that was a bad choice. You know what I'm saying? So you just got to really be careful with these individuals. Like I said, these spiritual narcissists are not to be trusted, and anybody that's around them is not to be trusted either, because 9 times out of 10, they're more than likely they're just like them or worse. You know what I'm saying? So you have to really, really, really be careful. Mm. Sorry about that, you guys. I was thirsty. I had to finish my drink here. But so look, you guys, I just pulled up an article. It says South Florida. It says narcissistic behaviors face Cuba and the US, according to the forecast from Santeria Alpha Priest. Boy, oh boy. But mind you, this was back in 2018. So if you guys can only imagine how it is now in 2024, like how bad it's gotten, you get me? So boy. Give me 1 second here, you guys. Let's see here. This is very interesting, I must say, you guys. You know. Let me close this out because it's not pulling it up here. Yeah, it's an actual video talking about it. And fair use, you guys. Fair use for YouTube. Hold on. Fair use. Fair use. Yeah, so it looks like they're, yes, because some people, it sounds like, when it comes to this type of stuff, some people can do like kitchen magic, or they try to mix potions together, and they get pictures and stuff like that, and they try to do certain spells and rituals. So yeah, you guys, you gotta be careful. You know what I mean? You gotta be careful. I'm telling you. Because these individuals are not to be trusted, you guys. I'm telling you, like, it's crazy. It is so crazy. And the deceptive part is that, these spiritual narcissists, they try to come off as normal. They try to blend in like they're normal, and they're not. You know what I mean? They're not, and it's different. You know. Let me see. There was something else. Yeah, it says Santeria rituals and allow human beings to stay in contact with their Orishka. It says these rituals, including dancing, drumming, speaking, eating with the spirits. Santeria has A few buildings devoted to the faith. Now, it's nothing wrong with like dancing and drumming and speaking and stuff like that, but it's just the intentions behind it. You guys get what I'm saying? Like I wanted to let me see. There's something else here. I just want to pull it up. Let's see here. Well, it talks about animal sacrifice, but sometimes the spiritual narcissists like to sacrifice humans too. They'll sacrifice humans. Yeah, and then they recruit people and stuff like that. Let me see. You know. Okay. Yeah, it says. Let me see here. Why animal sacrifice is because until birth in new life, active birth, in order to. This is really interesting. Yeah, see, it says, okay, hold on. It says people of all ages can choose to follow Santeria with the initiation process that sets the follower on the El Rega de Ocho. The initiations are ritualistic and involved elaborate ceremonies here. But yeah, it looks like it comes from the it's like a Latin background or something like that. Well, we'll definitely follow up on that. That's just really good information to keep in mind. And stuff like that. You know what I mean? Yeah. Yeah, it says Roman Catholic Church does not condone Santeria. It is also and it cannot condone, yeah, that's what it says. Wow. And it says that Orishka is for money. Is huh. What does wow. Wow, wow, wow. It says is Santeria illegal. It says the Supreme Court addresses the constitutionality of animal sacrifice for religious purposes in Church of the Leukemia Babalu voting unanimously to strike down a set of local endurances. I hope I'm saying that right, prohibiting the practice because they specifically target the Santeria religion. Hmm. Yeah, it even says this is saying in Africa, though. It says sub Saharan Africa, the practice of ritual killing and human sacrifice continues to take place despite it being illegal, is what it says here. Now it says, can Puerto Ricans practice Santeria? It says Santeria Espiritismo, whatever, are two foremost non-Christian spiritual traditions that individuals from Puerto Rico, Dominican Republic, Cuban, and their descendants practice in the United States. So, yeah. So you gotta be careful. It says, is there Mexican Santeria? Hmm. Interesting, you guys, I must say. Very, very interesting. Although Santeria was originally shaped in Cuba, the local Mexican versions show not only a variety of references regarding their origins and influences ranging from West Africa and Cuba to local indigenous traditions, but also the interpretations, of historically and geographically diverse contents. Yeah. So, hmm. So yeah, that's basically all I wanted to mention, regarding that, because you know, that's kind of interesting to hear about that. Hmm. Excuse me, guys. Hold on. Woo! My bad, you guys. Hold on. My spit went down the wrong way. Woo! My bad, you guys. So now, I did want to talk about something else. If you are dealing with a spiritual narcissist, this is something that they can actually do to you as well. So this individual may try to energy harvest, or they may be an energy vampire. So let's see. Hold on. Because again, the narcissist is all about the supply. So like I said, if they have a host, then they're good. If they don't have a host, then they're going to go off to their next victim and find somebody else that they can, energy harvest off of. But let's talk about it. Um so it says this is one of many narcissistic tendencies. They struggle to feel genuine happiness for another person. Instead, they prefer to pull energy to feed their emotional demands. Okay. So it says, can narcissists steal your positive energy and use it for themselves? So let's see. Let's read it. It says, one person, and I went to Quora.com, it says, absolutely, I was my dad's source of emotional energy for my entire life unknowingly, destroyed my emotions and my positivity. By that time, I had all my nervous breakdowns and I was discarded. I could hardly see or think from the gaslighting. That's how much light he took from my soul. Thank God I can and I am healing and didn't turn into a soulless pit of darkness like himself. That's what somebody wrote. And they have been a survivor of narcissistic abuse for 39 years. Wow. That is very interesting. Yeah. Yes, as they have no gain, what your energy is feeding is only a mask. They only gain what it would be, so mask is strengthened. Therefore, the only gain is a gain, which is essentially a lie and actually non-existence. Anyhow, this is what drains your energy. Their massive intent to fortify an imaginary mask. Excuse me, and have your soul pay the way. Well, this is a good one right here. So the person says narcissists have no special powers that other humans do not have as well. They cannot steal your positive energy and use it for themselves. However, they can create a situation in which you feel energetically depleted because they do one or more of the following: pick fights over trivial matters, devalue other people, blame their partner for everything that goes wrong in a relationship, spend a lot of their time with you telling boring long stories that they think show them in a positive light, repeatedly ignore whatever you say about what is important to you, want everyone to do everything their way, want to give you advice even though you say you do not want or need it, treat your suggestions as pointless and ridiculous, try to micromanage and control their partners, split on you one minute they cannot live without you, the next minute they claim you are stupid and useless, become very negative and obstructive about any plans you make that they did not initiate, and lack emotional empathy so they can be very hurtful to you without caring about your pain. This person says, I could go on longer about all the negative energy many people with NPD put out daily when things do not perfectly match their expectations. Even if you have great boundaries, you are a positive person and are confident and can speak up for yourself. You are likely to become exhausted by how often you have to do so. It says, uh okay, so it says it says punchline. It says most people in relationships with someone who qualifies for a full diagnosis of NPD exhausted and drained by the end of the day. This is not because narcissists are supernatural and can literally live off of your energy. Narcissists do not set out to be draining unless you are in a fight. They often have very little awareness of how exhausting they are to be with, and they lack the emotional empathy to care. But their continual attempts to get everything they want without regard to how you feel leaves anyone in a close relationship with them feeling depleted of energy. So very interesting, right? So yeah, that's actually, I got that from quarter.com. So you guys can learn more about that. But I love that a lot. That's very true. Very, very, very true. Yeah. It says narcissists don't steal your positive energy, they deplete your positive energy through their negative behavior. You can't maintain positivity when you are dealing with narcissists. Narcissists are negative people. Narcissists gaslight, abuse, cheat, deceive, and lie all the time. They create negative atmosphere at home. It's hard to remain positive when narcissists want negative reactions from you to get narcissistic supply to regulate their self-esteem and stroke their ego. Narcissists thrive on negativity. They create negative atmosphere on purpose for control and authority. You can't maintain positive energy when dealing with narcissists. If you want positive and peace, then leave narcissists. Yeah, that's very, very true. Wow, that's just everything right there. Yeah, so just be aware. If you're around a narcissist, they will try to harvest off of your energy. You know what I mean? Energy vampires. They like to drain the life out of you, suck the life out of you with their actions, what they do. That's how they do it. You know what I mean? So yeah. Sometimes you have to break those energetic ties with the narcissist. You know what I'm saying? Because they will try to bind you, like I said, whether it's spell work or it's through sex or if it's through anything, bonding, trauma bonds, and you know any way that they can, they'll try to drain you, or they'll try to scapegoat you, or they'll manipulate you, or they'll play the victim, and stuff like that. You know what I mean? Let me see. Let's kind of go a little deeper here. So again, energy harvesting is also known as the power of harvesting, or energy scavenging, is a process of collecting energy from the environment and converting it into usable electricity. So it's like sometimes the narcissists, they need energy from other people to power them up, to get them going, because basically without them having people around them, they would be low on energy. They feel low about themselves. That's why they need you so much. That's why they need your attention, and that's why they need your admiration, because they don't feel good about themselves at all. They actually probably hate themselves, right? And so, but if they have other people around them powering them up, then that is everything to them. You get me? But it says this energy is then stored and used to power small wireless devices, such as those used in wearable electronics, condition monitoring, and wireless sensory networks. This is more so of like the technical side of it, but this is, still kind of relates in that regards here. But again, energy harvesting allows devices to operate without a conventional power source, eliminating the need for wires or frequent battery replacements. This is especially used for devices that are difficult to reach or need to be operated long term without maintenance. But yeah, very, very, very interesting. Yeah, it says human energy harvesting is a term used to describe as using of systems that utilize the human body as primary source of energy to generate and store energy. So this is very, very interesting here. Very, very interesting. So you have to realize like you're actually really important to the narcissist. Like you're not like the narcissist doesn't care about you, right? They don't love you, but they're literally using you like for your energy. Like they don't have any energy and they need you for that. You get what I'm saying? So yeah, it's crazy. That is crazy. So anyway, this has been the video here. I don't want to make it too long, but we'll definitely follow up on the other topic next video. But I hope that this was helpful and kind of helped you to understand the things that maybe the narcissist could be doing, especially if it's a spiritual narcissist and they are in those certain areas that I talked about. And if you find that whenever you're around this person you're drained, like they try to suck the life out of you, that's probably why, because they're probably trying to use your energy. They need your energy and stuff like that. And also they may be practicing that particular practice because they're trying to, whether it's get energy off of you or try to get a certain outcome, or they could, like I said, be trying to get money, or they could be trying to get a relationship, or something. It's just something devious, right? It's a whole scheme. It's a whole setup. So you just really, really, really got to be careful. Or they could be trying to sacrifice. They could be trying to recruit you to whatever demonic cult that they have going on, or they could be trying to get rid of you or something, or they could be trying to bully you or antagonize you or somebody else, or who knows, so just make sure you stay strong and stay positive and keep God first, and just keep going forward at the end of the day. So anyway, I love you guys. Make sure that you do give this video a like, share, and subscribe. I would, like I said, love to know your takeaway, and I will see you guys in the next video. Take care. Love you guys. Bye.